Hello people of the tube, I'm Cypher and this is my 6-string journey, and on this channel I'm documenting my entire journey learning to play the guitar. And today I'm not actually going to be getting the guitar out. What I want to do is I want to address a question that came up recently, and that question is, how long does it take to learn a song? Now, why does this question come up? It's come up for a number of reasons. When I first started to play the guitar many moons ago, I went online and I started to sign up and research some of the online lessons that were available. And as a result of that, I've constantly had emails and adverts popping up in my social media streams pretty consistently throughout. And when I first started, the claims from a lot of these advertisers was that you could learn a song in a few weeks. Then it turned around that you would learn it by the end of your first week, and then it became at the end of the day, and then it became at the end of the first lesson. And just recently I received an email advert through into my email system which said that I could learn a song in half an hour. Now, that's quite a bold statement, and when you consider that I've been working on REM's Everybody Hurts for 10+ weeks, to say that you can learn a song in half an hour just doesn't balance in my head. And it really did start me thinking, well, am I wasting my time here? Am I really taking far too long to learn these songs? And I'm quite happy for them to be slow and for me to take my time, but there is also the case of, being a bit ridiculous. I mean, over these 10 weeks, I've done 43 days of practice, spending on average, I think, around about 15 minutes a day, which I know isn't enough. It needs to be more. But 43 days, 15 minutes, if you start adding that all up, that's quite a chunk of time. And when you start thinking about that, you start thinking that this is tedious, I'm doing the same thing day in, day out, and you start to get frustrated. And it was that frustration that led me to ask Michael about how long does it take to learn a song, to which he replied, everybody's different, so how long is a piece of string? Again, I paraphrase, and I'll get to that in a little bit more detail in a moment, but we're all different. And one of the things I do like about this channel is the fact that when things are dragging on, you can look back and see how your progression is going. And that obviously then makes me feel a bit better, and then I push on. But when you keep getting these adverts through saying you'll be able to play your first song at the end of the first lesson or at the end of half an hour, you do start to think. So one of the other things that I do is I follow quite a few people online, and I thought, okay, let's just go and have a look and see how some of those are doing. And I'm just going to pick out a few here. And the first one is the YouTube channel Guitar Journey. Now, this is a guy called Buck in the Netherlands, and we both started at around about the same time. I went down the electric guitar route, he's gone acoustic. I'm into sort of the ambient, Floydy type stuff. He's more into hip hop, but our paths are loosely intertwined and we're pretty much following. And I look at his progression and think about how my progression is going. Now, I do think that Buck practices a little bit more consistently with me, and therefore he gets more consistent results. And consistency is something that I do need to work on. But it's been really interesting to follow him along. And he's been working on a couple of songs. One is Slow Cheetah, but the one that I want to concentrate on is Road Trippin. Now, he's just done his final playthrough video at week 8 and day 61. So this is to play the whole of the song right the way through, but it's taken him up to day 61 to get the muscle memory to kick in, and I've never had that yet. But he's got the muscle memory kicking in through that consistent practice, and he's able to play through what I would refer to as a song properly. And this is a song with finger picking and chord changes, and it's quite technical. And go and check out his channel because it's really good. He puts videos up regularly of his progress, and it's really interesting to see how that progress goes over a number of days and weeks. So then I start to think, well, he's taken 8 weeks, 61 days. I've taken 10 weeks, 43 days, so maybe I've still got a little bit of catching up to do, which made me feel a little bit better in myself. And again, that's another reason why I follow some of these people. And then I looked a little bit more widely, and I came back to a video by Mark Knopfler that I've looked at several times, where he's talking about his early days. And I can't remember the exact words, but he talks about, being in his bedroom and strumming out chords for hour after hour until he can get them right. And, people must have been listening, thought he was mad. But then you think about what he has gone on to achieve and the fabulous songs that he's put together, and you start to think, okay, well, even somebody that great spent hours sitting there doing the basics, then you can start to put things into context a little bit more. And then I did follow Justin Guitar in the early days, and I've continued to follow him through, and just recently he did a Nitsuj series where he's basically a professional tutor. If you're in the guitar world, you know who he is, but he's a professional tutor, so he knows the chords, he knows the fingering, he knows the strumming, he knows all that stuff inside out. But he decided to learn left-handed for his new set of courses he's putting together. And even he had trouble. He was bending over, his fingers were hurting, he was working on the shapes, it was taking a long time. And that was really refreshing, the fact that a professional with that amount of experience doesn't get it in half an hour or the end of the first lesson. So that was pretty cool. And then one of the others, I'm going to do too many of these, but one of the other YouTube channels that I do want to mention is Midlife Guitar. And I will link to all of these in the description below. But Midlife Guitar I've been following as well, and he has been doing an hour's practice, I think 5 or 6 days a week, pretty much consistently throughout his first year. And he's obviously got some natural ability because he goes through very, very quickly and he makes some really, really good progress. But what was really interesting is a while ago he did 30 songs in 30 days. So basically he was giving himself an hour a day to learn a song. Absolutely brilliant. Did really, really well. I was amazed, and the more I watched through that series, the more jealous I got. But it was very interesting. If you look at his channel and you get to day 15, you'll notice that he's strumming away quite happily to the backing track, and then you hit the part in the track where the band goes into a riff, and he sort of stops and, okay, I can't do the riff, and then it comes back to the strums and he finishes off strumming. Now don't get me wrong, I'm not putting him down, he did a really, really good job. But again, that was an example of, if you've got the chord shapes and you can play the clean chords, then strumming along to a song. Plinkety plonkety style is probably a bit nasty and probably not the words I want. But I always think of just strumming out songs without the musicality and just strumming chords isn't really sort of playing music and playing songs. And I know a lot of trolls are going to flame me now for saying that, but that's just how I feel, because I want to get more musical and understand the song a little bit more. But that really showed what you can do within a lesson, but where the hurdles are and where the brick walls are. So that was really, really interesting watching that. And yeah, Midlife Guitar, while it's an absolutely great example of what you can do with a few chords, and once you've got those basic chords down, you can play hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of songs. It did underline the fact that if you want to get more technical, then it does take more time. And there's plenty more examples out there. And I think a lot of it is down to your expectations and what you're expecting. So, how long does it take to learn a song, and why are we all different? Well, we're all different because we all learn different. Physically, we're different. Mentally, we're different. We're all different in lots of different ways. And we all learn differently, and we pick things up differently. So, for instance, with me, I tend to be able to pick up riffs and strumming relatively easily, but chords are a nightmare for me. For other people, learning chords is very easy, but they struggle with riffs and strumming. And then, of course, there's some people out there that just find everything easy. And, oh, I'm jealous of you guys. But, you know, for me, chords are my nightmare. For other people, chords are easy. So, you know, we all find things easier and more difficult. So that affects our learning process. And it's also going to affect how long it's going to take to learn a song. And in addition, we all learn differently. So again, I'm going to get flamed for this, but younger people tend to assimilate information and skills much faster than older people. But youngsters tend to focus on the fun stuff because the fun stuff makes learning more fun. But when things start to get a little bit difficult and you need to start getting into the more technical stuff, then obviously they drop out quicker. For older people like me, we naturally learn more slowly, and therefore we need to just reset our expectations a little bit more, but the discipline kicks in, and I think we're a bit more worldly wise, and we're a bit more disciplined. So we'll do the fun stuff, but we'll also mix that in with some of the technical stuff, which does enable us, I think, to stick at it for longer, but it takes us longer over a period of time. So like I said, you know, youngsters tend to pick things up very quickly. They're more nimble in their fingers, their brains work quicker. And I think that, you know, you do learn much easier and much quicker when you're younger than when you're older. So you need to build, you know, that expectation needs to kick in. And these adverts that say you can learn in half an hour, well, they're not really taking any consideration of you as an individual, your skills, your age, your abilities, or anything like that. It's just a marketing phrase at the end of the day. So why are the adverts saying that you can learn these lessons so quickly? Well, I think, as I've just said, it's marketing spin, and they're not really looking at your expectations. All they really want to do is to suck you in and get you learning using their courses and spending your money with them. Now, this isn't true for everybody. For instance, Justin Guitar doesn't charge, and there's no expectations, and I find his course to be very good and very relaxing. But there are others out there that are really pushing their courses and making promises that I don't really think are overly realistic. So then you need to start thinking about your expectations and what you want from your learning experience, learning to play the guitar. So do you just want to learn a few chords, learn to strum, and then basically just sit down and strum along to backing tracks? If you do, then yes, I guess that by the end of the first lesson, or once you've got those chords down, and if you can do the chords, then you're going to be able to strum along to hundreds of songs, and you'll be playing to those songs at the end of that lesson. And I guess that then means that the marketing words are correct in that scenario. But if, like me, you want to learn a full song, you want to learn the chords, you want to learn the solos with the lead, you want to learn the melody, you want to get inside the song and understand the feeling and get the musicality, well then no, I don't see that you're going to be able to do that within half an hour, an hour, or even your first week. It's going to take weeks, especially as a beginner. It's going to take weeks to learn that particular song. And this is all stuff that I knew already, to be fair, but it's just that when you're getting bombarded with learn a song quickly, learn a song quickly, learn a song quickly, you do start to question yourself about, well, am I taking too long? And that was basically where I was at. Now, before I finish up on this video, I just want to touch on another video. This one was by Stein, obviously a very experienced professional tutor on YouTube. And again, I will link to all of these different channels down below. And I watched a recent video of his, which was phenomenal. It was brilliant. He was talking about ego songs and project songs. Now, an ego song is a song that you find very easy to learn and to play. So maybe if you're good at chords, that could be a song where you're just strumming chords along to it. much like I do with Chasing Cars and one of the others, Heroes, I think it was. But an ego song is where you learn it quickly, you can play it relatively easily, you can pick up that song when somebody says, oh, you know, you play the guitar, can you just play me something? And you can pat yourself on the back at the end of the day and have a smile and say, yeah, I've learnt that song and that was great. And then you get your project songs. And the project songs are those songs where you are learning new techniques, where you're pushing yourself out of your comfort zone. So for me at the moment, REM, Everybody Hurts is most definitely my project song. I'm trying to learn different techniques with string skipping. I'm trying to move around the chords. There's a whole load of new stuff in there that I'm trying to learn. And that's not a song that I'm going to pick up and learn quickly. It's a song that is going to take me time to understand. And once I realised the ego songs and the project songs, again, then that started to enable me to manage the question of how long does it take to learn a song. If you've got an ego song, it's going to be quite quick. If it's going to be a project song, it's going to take an awful lot longer. So I guess with this video, what I'm really trying to say is just ignore the marketing, ignore all the stuff that comes through about can you learn to play a song in half an hour? Because it's all down to your expectations. If you want to learn to play the song properly, no, you're not going to be able to do it. If you just want to strum along once you've got the chords down, then yes, you should be able to do that fairly straightforwardly. So it's all down to expectations. And as a beginner, I think that one of the things that we need to do is to set our own expectations, define our own journeys. Get comfortable with that journey, get comfortable with the direction that you're going, and just enjoy the journey and forget all the noise that comes through on social media. And if it takes you 100 days to learn a song, so what? So long as you're enjoying yourself, it really doesn't matter. And I'm probably one of the slowest learners out there. I don't have a natural flair for the guitar, but I'm really enjoying what I'm doing. And if it takes me another 40 days to learn REM's Everybody Hurts, I really don't care anymore. So I'm not going to worry about the marketing hype. I'm not going to worry about how long it takes. I'm just going to enjoy the ride. I suggest you do the same. Anyway, thank you very much for watching. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you're new to the channel, please consider subscribing because it's nice, and it's, you know, I really thank everybody that subscribes to my channel and that takes the time to comment. It's those comments that keep me motivated and keep me pushing forwards, especially when I start seeing adverts saying that I'm going too slow. So I really appreciate all of my subscribers. In the meantime, please hit the bell for future videos, stay safe, and I'll see you on another video coming very soon. Take care. Bye-bye.